I'm Nadia Miller here with the World Affairs Council of Harrisburg, talking today to Dr. Esfandiari. Your life has been interesting. You started out in Iran and ended up moving here to the United States. Can you tell us a little bit about your childhood growing up in a different country?
Sure. I grew up with two cultures. My mother was Austrian, my father Iranian. So as a child, I was exposed both to a European culture and an Iranian culture. And that made my life even more interesting than what my other friends had, being exposed to two different cultures. I also lived in Iran, which was on the move. Iran was progressing. Iran was trying to enter the 20th century, which was very important. Just to give you an example, when I grew up as a little girl and then later on as a young woman in Iran, women didn't have the right to vote or to be elected to parliament. But when I was in my 30s, women got the right to vote. That was a very important step. I started my career in Iran as a journalist. I was the first woman journalist on an Iranian daily. But today there are more women journalists in Iran than men. And living in pre-revolutionary Iran as a woman, one felt that everything was possible and nothing was impossible.
Okay, so was it ultimately your decision to move here to the United States?
No, it was not. The revolution took place, and neither my husband nor I could continue working in Iran. It was becoming more difficult because, the revolution played havoc with a lot of lives in Iran. So in a way we were fortunate because my husband had studied in the United States and I had studied in Europe. And our daughter was born in the United States. So the choice was either going and settling in Europe or coming and settling in the US. And we opted for the US, thinking that, and we were right, that the United States is the land of immigrants, and it gives you possibilities that no other country around the world does.
So after moving here to the U.S., you decided to go back to Iran. What was the reason for that, and how did you end up becoming imprisoned?
Mm-hmm. I didn't go back. The revolution happened in 1978. I didn't go back for 14 years. The first 14 years I didn't return. In 1992, my father became very ill, and I knew that he could no longer travel. So I decided to take the risk and go back. And between 1992 and 2006, I would return to Iran regularly, a couple of times a year. And in my wildest dream, I didn't think that I would end up in prison. But in December of 2006, when I was on a regular yearly visit to spend Christmas with my Austrian mother, I was stopped from leaving the country, and then I was put for 8 months under country arrest. And the reason was that, if I want to be very brief and short, is that the intelligence ministry people who arrested me believed that I'm part of a larger plan that the United States had to overthrow the regime through soft means.
So Did you think they were going to release you?
As a prisoner in solitary confinement, if you don't have a little bit of a hope that at some stage they would release you, you would fall apart. On the one hand, I thought that I would stay there for many years to come. On the other hand, I had a blind faith in my husband, whom I knew would do everything to get me out.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to come talk to me. And it's really appreciated, so thank you.
Thank you. This was very nice.